unknown. There's no doubt, so no regret. Happy before we get another day to do it all again. Oh, we're throwing open all the curtains wide. Oh, not gonna miss a thing. Oh, nothing's promised to you in this life, but it's there for us to take. So live well, be bold, be brave. In the sun, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Oh, let in the sun, all of the best yet to come. Oh, let in the sun, don't know what you got till it's gone. Oh, let in the sun, all of the best yet to come. We're throwing open all the curtains wide. Not gonna miss a thing. Nothing's promised to you in this life, but it's there for us to take. So live well, be bold, be brave.
Welcome to the locker room. I'm Nancy. It's 3:04 p.m. and I thank you for being here. So, okay, when I posted this live this afternoon, or this morning, I scheduled it for this afternoon. This came up like 5 minutes after I scheduled my live. So I don't know where that came from, but it's there. So I'll give them recognition. Okay, so today we're going to talk about what's been happening in Michigan with the churches. I got an email that said the death toll this morning was up to 5. So, but all of the videos we're going to see on here show 4. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind as we go down the road. Okay, let me see if I can get it.
Well, a deadly shooting and a fiery blaze at a Michigan church has some officials sounding the alarm about rising targeted religious violence in the United States. President Trump and others calling Sunday's attack on a Michigan Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints an attack of anti-Christian violence. However, police are not saying what motivated the attack just yet, which killed at least 4 people. News Nation's
that church is totally gone. It is literally toast. And that is so sad. No matter what denomination it is just, it's toast. I mean, things like this shouldn't happen. And they shouldn't be blaming President Mr. Trump.
Xavier Walton is tracking this one for us. And Xavier, where does the investigation stand this morning, and how's that search going for other potential victims in the rubble?
Anna, good morning. Here we are yet again talking about another church shooting in America. As far as the investigation, investigators, they know who the shooter was. Now they're trying to figure out why, figure out the motive of what the FBI is calling an act of targeted violence. Now, the police say that the gunman, 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford, a Marine veteran from Michigan, ran this truck you're seeing here on your screen into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township, got out, started shooting an assault rifle, and then intentionally set the church on fire. Now, hundreds of people were inside when the shots rang out. The church was set ablaze. Right now, we know at least 4 people were killed, 8 injured. The shooter also killed. However, authorities say, the number of fatalities, it could go up as they search the church for more victims. Officials think some people may have been left trapped by the raging flames. The images just show the charred church left in ruins. Police showing up within.
Look at that. It's just, I have to do the Fair Use Act thing. And I had one video last week when I was talking about the indigenous women being missing. That got demonetized because the news crew said I couldn't have it on there. See my lighted sunflower string? Okay. I have another string, but I didn't have enough batteries to put in it.
30 seconds, they say, of when all this began. 2 exchanged gunfire with Sanford in the back of the church parking lot, eventually killing him.
I'd also like to acknowledge the heroism of not only the first responders, but the people who were inside that church at the time. They were shielding the children who were also present within the church, moving them to safety. Just hundreds of people just practicing their faith. Just extreme courage, brave, and that's the type of community that we are.
Can't even imagine. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer saying her heart is breaking for the Grand Blanc community. Violence anywhere, especially in a place of worship, is unacceptable. President Trump also posting on Truth Social, saying in part there is still a lot to learn, but it appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. Now remember, this shooting comes almost exactly 1 month to the day after that Minneapolis church shooting where a gunman killed 2 children and wounded 14 others, as well as 3 elderly parishioners as they prayed. Some states like New York, Texas, even cities in California are ramping up their police presence around places of worship, so to speak. Meantime, that investigation in Michigan, investigators have obtained search warrants. Now they're looking at the suspect's residence to see if they could, Anna, figure out some sort of motive as to why he would do this.
Okay. I think this is going to be the same one. It's the same image, but I don't know if it's the same story. So, because this is also from News Nation. Yes, it's the same video. So I'm going to clip this one off and we'll go over to CBS News. Now, I don't think there's a video for this one. Okay. So it says the gunman in the Michigan church Bang Bang died after exchanging gunfire with police. Here's what we know. And it doesn't show anymore. Died after exchanging with police. Is there a video? Okay, let me open this one up. Because there was a video that went with it. Okay. I'm going to put the link for this video in the comments there because it's not on my down below. All right, so let's play. Let's go big or go home.
We're learning more about that shooter. He's been identified as 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford of Burton, Michigan. Now, we know MSP's bomb squad. They were in a neighborhood well into the evening today. Our Veronica Ortega continues our coverage tonight.
It's not something you see every day in the small city of Burton, Michigan. Dozens of Michigan State Police lining the street near East Atherton and South Center roads.
People come home and see all this, you know. And so my apartment is right down there. And so it's just unbelievable.
April Van says she didn't know the man identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford personally.
I seen maybe once or twice, seen a gentleman bringing the trash to the front. Other than that, nothing. I don't know anything about him.
CBS News learned Sanford served in the U.S. Marines.
This guy was a stand-up guy and would do things for anybody. Did say he was an Army vet, but if he was and something triggered him, I can see why, because, I mean, what do we do for our vets?
Authorities confirmed improvised explosive devices were found, which is what brought the Michigan State Police bomb squad to the suspect's home.
Something's got to be done. You know, we got to start taking care of our people. A lot of sickness going on. It's got to be changed.
The bomb squad unit brought everything within its arsenal. That includes a drone to scope out the property, a bomb disposal robot, and an armored vehicle with bulldozer tracks to enter the home.
I really feel for the families. You know, even...
Wait, this isn't the same church, but it's in Michigan. So I've got the wrong story here. Well, no. Because I go back to where I was, I clicked on the picture for the story we're talking about, and it gave this video. Well, it is what it is. Okay, we'll go back to where we were. Hello, hello. All right, so I don't know if this is the church that yeah, it says gunman in Michigan church shooting died after exchanging gunfire with police. And I clicked on that, and that was the story we were watching. Okay, let's watch this one. Oh, you can't see it. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to watch that one in a minute. Anyway, so let's click off of this one. Okay. At least 4 killed and 8 injured in the act of targeted violence at Michigan church. Suspect unalived. Okay, so here is a commercial. Naturally. Okay, we're going to watch this commercial.
The shooter is down. We do have multiple victims. The entire church is on fire.
A suspect rams his car into a church, gets out, and starts shooting. At least 4 people are dead and several others are injured. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm Terrell Bailey. Now, this happened at the Church of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township around 10:30 this morning. So in recent years, multiple mass shootings have occurred right here in Michigan. In 2021, there was the Oxford High School shooting. 2023, the Michigan University deadly shooting. And last year, 9 people were shot at a splash pad in Rochester Hills. And today, 4 people have died after a shooting and fire at a church in Grand Blanc Township. Right now, several agencies like state police and the FBI are trying to figure out why the gunman did. The violence unfolded shortly after 10 Sunday morning at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. A gunman rammed his truck into the building where a church service was going on and opened fire using what authorities say was an assault rifle.
The service was active.
Now, see that other story we were just listening to with the other lady that was talking to the news crew. It was also about a church. So I'm presuming, I could be wrong, but I'm presuming that there were 2 of them this weekend, yesterday, that happened.
If there was hundreds of people within the church.
Authorities say at least 4 people were killed.
Let me say we are heartbroken. This kind of violence doesn't happen in our community, and we are heartbroken.
Well, I guess it does.
That it came to Grand Blanc Township.
The gunman was killed by police. Authorities believe the gunman, a 40-year-old Michigan man, intentionally set fire to the church. The fire quickly spread, engulfing the entire structure in flames before it was eventually brought under control. Authorities say the search continues for more victims.
So we're working tirelessly to find additional bodies. The entire church has not been cleared because it's a total loss due to the fire. So these first responders right now, they're in recovery mode. They're trying to fight through all the debris.
At a Sunday evening press conference, officials hailed the bravery of those gathered in the church when the gunman opened fire.
I'd also like to acknowledge the heroism of not only the first responders, but the people who were inside that church at the time. They were shielding the children who were also present within the church, moving them to safety. Just hundreds of people just practicing their faith.
Authorities say they believe the gunman acted alone and are working now to determine a motive. Julia A.
Okay, so now we're going to go back to the location with another newscaster. But I don't see a motive, where a motive could come from, other than he had a beef with somebody, or he may have dementia and just lost his cookies or something. I don't know.
And is joining us live from that scene right now. Julia, you have been there for hours in Grand Blanc Township at this point. I mean, I'm sure today it has been a very, very heavy day for residents in that area.
Yes, it has. And we've learned a lot throughout the day. I think we've learned the most in this last press conference that we had at 8 o'clock. Before we go into those details, I want to show you something, the focal point of what started everything around 10:25. You can see the truck that Sanford ran into that church this morning. You see damage, airbags, those flags, that pictures going around the nation right now. Now, let's go back and talk about that press conference. What you're about to see, we're learning more information about how this 40-year-old did this and what ensued after the attack today.
Could have been completely avoided. And it's very tragic, and that's not what our community is.
Police are learning more about how 40-year-old military veteran Thomas Jacob Sanford attacked.
Now they are saying 40-year-old. It sounded like the newscaster, that Ava lady, said 4-year-old, but that's what I heard. So, but it is a 40-year-old gentleman.
this church and the 100+ church goers this morning. While it's unclear what took place when the gunman ran his truck into the building, police have since learned that churchgoers took action to protect one another.
They were shielding the children who were also present within the church, moving them to safety. Just hundreds of people just practicing their faith, just extreme courage, brave, and that's the type of community that we are.
This is now an FBI investigation, with FBI agent Reuben Coleman confirming this was a targeted event. As for the fire that engulfed the church, authorities believe the gunman used an accelerant like gasoline. They confirmed suspected explosives were located.
Was it an IED he may have used?
There are, at this point, I'm not going to comment on IEDs. I will confirm that there were some suspected explosive devices that were located. But as far as using them to initiate the blaze, I can't say that.
Now, the trauma doesn't stop there. After this incident happened, police confirmed that they received multiple other bomb threats at different locations. Police could not confirm where those locations were, but I do want to focus on this. At the first press conference, they told the community that there was no active threat. At the 8 p.m. press conference, they are now asking the community to be vigilant. If you see anything abnormal, don't let it pass by. Call 911 to keep you and your family and your community safe. Also, back to what happened at this church. If you know anything, with this being an active FBI investigation.
Okay. So that is very sad news. And we're going to go to X. And see what our friend Jennifer Coffindaffer has to say. She's a former FBI attorney, and she is really good. Here is your shooter. He was reportedly a war veteran. His name is Thomas Sanford. He was killed by LE. Sadly, a second shooting victim has been found. Okay, so she posted this.
Hi, Chief
Yes.
Rennie, Grand Blanc Township Police Department, here to give you an update on the active shooter situation that we had, and it settled just recently on today's date at 10:25 a.m. So I want to give the community just a brief update. There has been one more fatality due to gunshots. That person had died at a local hospital. As far as reunification, if you're wondering how to reunify with your family member, I want to provide you with a phone number. That phone number is 248-705-7352. That number will leave.
So if anybody has family members that they know that that's the church that they went to up there in Michigan, that's the number that you would contact to find out if your family's okay, if you can't get a hold of them by cell phone.
Lead you to the Red Cross, who is on scene over there at Trillium with several people who were at the church when this incident took place, and they will be able to tell you where your family member is at. For the community, we know that you're hurting right now, and we also want to provide services to our entire Grand Blanc community, starting tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and all throughout this week. At the Grand Blanc Township Police Department, you could come in if there's anything that you're thinking, anything that you want to talk about. We'll have counselors on staff. So 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. starting tomorrow at the Grand Blanc Township Police Department all week long. So I plan on giving the community an update through a press conference starting at 5 p.m. today, also at the Grand Blanc Township Police Department.
Okay. So that was informative. Okay, here's another one off of X. This one doesn't have a video. Murray Marine veteran unalived 4 in Michigan LDS church shooting and arson. Thomas Jacob Sanford, a 40-year-old U.S. Marine veteran, rammed his truck into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan on September 28, 2025, fired on approximately 200 worshipers with an AR-15 style rifle, and set the building ablaze using accelerants. Police shot and unalived Sanford during a confrontation in the back parking lot. Preventing further harm, the attack resulted in 4 civilians, now we know it's 5, unalives, and 8 injuries, with the FBI investigating it as a potential domestic terrorism, and 3 undetonated improvised explosive devices recovered at the scene. So, and then people made dumb comments that said if a mosque was shot up every month, it would be a crisis for Muslims. If a synagogue was shot up every month, it would be a crisis for Jews. If a temple was shot up every month, it would be a crisis for Hindus. Christians, this happening to us. Christian churches are being violently targeted at an exponential rate. Christianity is the most persecuted religion on earth. Nothing else even comes close. Christianity is under attack. Time to get serious about it. J.D. Vance says, just an awful situation in Michigan. FBI is on the scene and the entire administration is monitoring things. Say a prayer for the victims and first responders. And this is aerial footage from Benny Johnson. And I could just go on and on. But next we're going to go over to Fox News and see what she has to say in her little video. Okay, it says, new press sec on the FBI's current understanding of the motive in the deadly Michigan church shooting. This was an individual who hated people of the Mormon faith, and they are trying to understand more about this. Okay, so let's bring.
Are trying to understand more about this, how premeditated. From what I understand, based on my conversations with the FBI director, all they know right now is this was an individual who hated people of the Mormon faith. And they are trying to understand more about this, how premeditated it was, how much planning went into it, whether he left a note. All of those questions have yet to be answered, but certainly will be answered by the FBI. From what I understand, based on my conversations with the FBI director, all they know right now is this was an individual.
So they really don't know any more than we already knew. All right, we're going to go back to X. And Dave Bondi, sources tell me that Grand Blanc, Michigan church shooter had a list of additional targets in the area, including several other churches of different denominations. Wow. Wow. So when he got into the scuffle with law enforcement in the parking lot, it was a good thing for a lot more Americans. Sadly, the ones in this church lost their lives, but okay. And this is another one from Dave Bondi on X. The links are in the, well, this link is in the description. All the links are in the description. Authorities say several people are still missing, and they find more victims today at the church in Grand Blanc. That looks like it's awfully close to houses, or that's the back side of the church. I guess that's the back side of the church. Okay, he says, CNN just reported there's no known motive in the church shooting in Michigan. They may want to take a look at my interview from last night. Exclusive. Burton City Council candidate says he spoke with Grand Blanc Township church shooting suspect in a chilling conversation that may reveal the possible motive. Okay, let's see if we can pull it up.
To talk, and after a short while, the conversation went. Hello, everyone. I'm talking to Chris right now, and you contacted me a short time ago, pretty distraught because actually, earlier today, you came to the realization that you say that you talked to the person who did this horrible thing in Grambling Township. I did last week. It was Wednesday or Thursday. I'm running for city council and I'm canvassing, and I had an address on my map that I went to, and I came across a gentleman. He was very friendly, and he had interacted positively with me, and we got out of the vehicle. We started just to talk, and after a short while, the conversation went to the Church of Latter-day Saints, Mormonism, and he just made the position multiple times that Mormons are the Antichrist. And he, in not so many terms, said that several times. He gave me his background, but I just walked away from a person who had some very sharp views about Mormons. Yeah, so you were just out campaigning for the election in November coming up, I'm assuming? That is correct. And so you're just shaking hands, looking to meet people. You come across his door. Have you matched it up? Is it the address the same as this person? Have you looked? It is, yes. I mean, it is not only the address, but it's also the person that I spoke with. I have a friend in Utah who is involved with the LDS Church. I sent him a voice message saying I had a conversation with a person who had very sharp views, and it's just like you come across a lot of different people while you campaign. Yeah. And I shared this with him on Friday, and then we had our Sunday dinner, and I ended up seeing a photo. That was the exact guy I spoke to last week. So you saw the guy, and I'm not gonna, the shooter, you saw his picture on the news or on social media, and what was your first reaction? Shock. I mean, to have just interacted with a person who, again, he had very sharp views. And when we first started speaking, very positive, we just made just general chit chat.
Okay, so, excuse me, that the shooter thought that the LDS Church was the Antichrist. I don't believe any Christian is the Antichrist. I don't care what denomination. I don't believe that they're the Antichrist. You can go, the link is in the description, and if you want to watch the whole video, I'll put it right here. Okay, so that's Dave Bondi keeping it real. So you can watch that interview. Okay, so here's another one. I don't know if there's a video for this one or not. This is Brooklyn Dad Defiant. We haven't even finished processing the shooting last night in North Carolina. And there's already another shooting at a Mormon church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Rammed his truck into the church, then fired his AR-15 at churchgoers. This is a disgusting sickness. This is Trump's America. Now, I don't know if this guy is blaming Mr. President Trump, but I don't think that these shootings or anything like this has anything to do with who our president is. I don't think they're governmental. It says a vehicle was rammed into the building and surrounded by smoke as firefighters work on the scene at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan, Sunday, September 28, 2025. Lucas Catilius, the Flint Journal via AP, Associated Press. So this is the horrible scene that of what happened yesterday. I guess the shooter must have gotten out of his truck. So, and then he was found in the parking lot by the law enforcement. Okay, now we're still on X. I get a lot of my information off of X. Okay, Sparrow. Disinfo alert. Be aware. The image of the truck with flags is not from today's Michigan church attack. This is a reminiscent of the fake picture of Charlie Kirk's assassination, edited to make it look like he was wearing a Trump shirt. Here's the image to watch, Groks referring. Huh? The image of the white truck with flags is being shared on X in connection with today's Grand Blanc church shooting, but it appears to originate from a June 2025 incident at a church in Wayne, Michigan, where a truck was used to stop a gunman. Major news reports on today's event don't mention such a vehicle. This is a developing story. Details may change. Okay, so somebody asked Grok if this picture was related to the church shooting, and this is Grok's response. But it wasn't a white truck, it was a silver truck. So I don't know. I mean, they look the same. Don't get me wrong at all. It looks like the same truck. But it could be but see, that's a silver truck right there. And this one looks like it's just up near the building. It don't look like it went through no building. So I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Okay, breaking. Active shooter was caught. Multiple victims at Mormon church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. The church is burning down. It's getting worse. Paul's warns 2 Timothy 3:1. The world's increasing turmoil, chaos, disasters, and societal unrest are signs that the end of the days are near. Okay. I don't believe that all these attacks on churches and schools and what have you are signs that the end is near. This has to be from an NIV Bible because it's not written the way it would be written. That's not the way Paul writes. So this must be from an NIV Bible, but which doesn't matter because it says basically the same thing. But yeah, I'm not I'm not seeing these incidents as the world coming to an end. It says that we'll never know. The world does not know and will not know when it's going to come to an end. He does give signs, yes, but I don't think that was one of them, because this person is very religious. Okay. What am I looking at here on this screen?
At least 4 people are dead, 8 others hurt after a shooting at a church service in Michigan.
Fox's Caroline Elliott is in Michigan with an update this morning. Investigators are still trying.
This was from 6:45 this morning. They've been working on this all night.
To figure out a motive a day after an alleged gunman shot up a Mormon church here in Grand Blanc, Michigan, before burning it to the ground. Officials are now saying the church is a total loss.
There is a couple additional bodies that we've discovered in the church.
The search for remains continues after a 40-year-old alleged gunman drove a pickup truck into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan on Sunday, killing and injuring several people as police say he started shooting and set the building on fire with hundreds of worshipers inside. Why are we being targeted like this? Police were on scene within 30 seconds of receiving the original 911 call. Teams then exchanged gunfire and killed the suspect shortly after he left the church.
Within 8 minutes, that suspect was neutralized.
The FBI is investigating this as an act of targeted violence. Officials say the suspect had explosive devices, but believe he used gasoline to start the fire.
These first responders right now, they're in recovery mode. They're trying to fight through all the debris.
President Donald Trump has been briefed, writing on Truth Social in part, quote, "This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately." Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has ordered flags across the state to fly at half staff through Friday to honor those victims. And Grand Blanc, Michigan, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
Okay.
And a second mass shooting happened at a crowded waterfront restaurant of the coastal town of Southport, North Carolina over the weekend. A man on a boat pulled up to a restaurant and opened fire, killing 3 people, injuring 5 others before speeding away. Police say this was a planned attack.
We believe that this was a target.
Wow. Wow. The things people do, I mean, seriously. Okay. That was my last video, because this one's about Charlie Kirk. Okay. Okay, I don't know if you can see me or not. It says my browser blocked my screen. So anyway, I think it's tragic of what happened. I don't know if I was asking one of my moderators this morning on the phone if Latter-day Saints are Mormons. And she said that she believed what she learned when she was going to church. If I get this right, if I get it wrong, I hope she's hiding in the bushes to correct me. But she said that what she learned, she believes that the Latter-day Saints broke off from the Mormons, or the Mormons broke off from the Latter-day Saints. One way or the other, they broke off, separated into 2 different entities as in types of religion, because one of them didn't agree with all of the rules and regulations that the other one agreed with. So that's neither here nor there. But I was asking, because some of the stories I was looking at said Mormon church and some said Church of Latter-day Saints. And I'm like, is this two different churches? Is this two different things? And then we saw that video where the lady was talking about the church, the shooting in her neighborhood. And I don't know if that church was in her neighborhood. I don't know. But anyway, that's what I know about that. We found out this morning that Tyler Robinson, if you want to go back and watch my this morning's live, which was totally jacked up because I had no idea what I was doing trying to research that video. Okay? So he had like an arraignment hearing today, and he was there by a Zoom, a WebEx call. We didn't get to see him on the camera today, but he was where the judge could see him. So they decided that October 30th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which would be 8 a.m. here, is when they're going to do the next one, and they're going to ask for Tyler Robinson to actually be in the courtroom for that one. They're taking this time up to the next 30 days to find more evidence, because they said over 2,000 people were at that rally, and they haven't been able to identify all of them. I don't think they're going to put 2,000 different people on the stand. Lands, I hope not, because that would be one long trial. But anyway, I've got it written down here to look for that on October 30th. Excuse me. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all being here. Please type something in the comments or share the video, and let's get the word out. You know, that helps my algorithms. I'm trying to spread my church farther. The only person that commented here was this MAGA, which it says, I guess that's 1-4 Hail Trump, Hail Victory 88. Okay, I don't know. But it's a YouTube channel. They posted on my live shortly after I scheduled it to go live. So that's what they believe. So, okay. With that being said, do something nice for someone, even if it's just make them smile, and search for crime, because I will.